back to the Jeff Vance Show. I'm sitting here with my good bud Paul.
Hi, how are you?
There's Paul. He's in the studio with us hanging out. We're going to talk a little bit about his podcast. We're going to talk about wrestling, Gundam, you name it. We're going to talk about it today. Paul is a jack of all trades.
Oh, man.
Much like myself. So it's pretty cool that we get to hang out like this.
Hell yeah.
So I guess let's just jump right into it and tell me a little bit about your podcast.
Okay, so I am one of the at this point, 5 co-hosts. So one of the original 3 of the Last Match Standing podcast. It's the podcast where we review, relive, and rank the greatest wrestling matches of all time. It's been a passion project of the last, it'll be 3 years in May. So what we do is we watch wrestling matches and we do deep dives. We break the matches down. And then we try to rank, okay, if we had a list of the greatest matches of all time, where would this one be? And the first 20 was really easy. We just did episode 80. And let me tell you, ranking a match is the most difficult thing to do on the planet because it is so stressful because once you get into 80, you're like, okay, oh, well, this one is slightly better than that one, but that one's more fun or that one's got Kurt Angle in it. I don't know. So it's challenging. And I feel like as we have gotten deeper into it, it's just gotten more and more challenging, but it's a lot of fun. I'm doing it with 2 of my best friends.
Right.
So I get to hang out with 2 of my best friends. They're going to be in my wedding. Well, go on. I love these guys. So that's where we are at. Well, we're on Twitter at Last Match Cast. We are on Facebook at Last Match Standing. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher. I almost said SoundCloud. No, Stitcher, not SoundCloud. Basically, anywhere you get podcasts from. We use a Buzzsprout, so it uploads to everything. Mm-hmm. We have a Patreon, which is been a lot of fun. That's why I'm wearing my Lex Luger shirt, because we have the Lexorcist tier.
Yes.
And we recently got our very first sponsor.
Nice.
I don't know if I'm allowed to mention the sponsor, but we are very, very excited, and it is a product that we actually use.
Nice,
I know I use it. So when they told me about it, I'm like, oh my God, I use that. Like really? I said, yeah, I love it. And they're like, well, make sure you mention that when we record the ad. I will. I will write the ad. I know they give us an ad to read, but I always see people on YouTube videos or on podcasts. They kind of they take what they're supposed to say and they write bits around it. I'm like, let me do that. I'll use it on the air. Damn it. I don't know if I should do that, but yeah. But we're very excited about it. We have been doing this show since May of 2019, and we have been invited to wrestling conventions, which is the best thing for us. We went to one last year we were guests, but we had to go to them and we were like, hey, we do this show, we would love to be a vendor. Like, here you go, you can come be a vendor. This past March, because we're still in March, but early March we were actually invited to a local one. Mm-hmm. And that was just the best thing ever. Because we got to man, we're selling merch. People are coming up and asking for autographs. Jen got asked for an autograph.
That's awesome.
Somebody literally walked up, excuse me, ma'am, can I have your autograph? And she was like, oh my God, yes, she wrote it. Popular. I know, she told me about it. I'm like, feels good, doesn't it? I got to do a promo contest with Shark Boy. You got an autograph, so I mean, you can have that. But yeah, I did a promo off against Shark Boy and I won. So that's going to stay with me till the day I die.
That's fantastic.
I mean, I cheated. I just did a Scott Steiner promo, but all the judges were laughing so hard that I won.
There you go. And that, I mean, it comes down to the judges anyway.
Oh yeah. Remind me when we're done. I will show you the video. It's hilarious.
Definitely. It is, so that's all the different places you can catch Last Match Standing. Of course, I got to ask you, this is what everybody asks, I'm sure.
Oh God, here we go.
What's the favorite match?
Okay.
What's the pinnacle of your favorite match?
It's weird because if you asked me 3 years ago, I had an answer. 3 years ago, my ultimate favorite match of all time was Mike Awesome versus Masato Tanaka from Heatwave 98. We covered that match, and I'm like, oh my God, I love that shit. But as we have watched 79 other matches, I'm like, I love it for what it is, which is probably the most barbaric brawl of all time, where nobody bleeds, It's an ECW match, nobody bleeds,
Yeah.
and they keep the action in the ring. So it's like, whoa, it's weird because like you think about ECW, you think about garbage brawls and crowd brawling. They don't do that. They stay in the ring.
That's awesome.
I mean, they do go to the outside. Mike Awesome literally launches himself from like the front row over the barricade and does like a crossbody.
Uh-huh.
That's it though. They stay almost in the ring the entire time. It has some of the scariest chair shots ever, which I'm like, I don't know about how I feel about those anymore. It has the scariest table bumps in the history of wrestling.
Oh yeah.
That'll like make your heart stop until you realize, wait a minute, this is 30 years ago, and okay, well, one of them is still with us. The other one unfortunately passed away, but it wasn't because of that.
Right.
Yeah. But I'm gonna give everybody a little teaser here.
Uh-huh.
So on our Patreon, we do our WrestleMania crawl. We've gone from 1. We just finished 30. We're about to release WrestleMania 30, which, by the way, really good show.
WrestleMania 30?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hadn't watched it since it happened 9 years ago. I was amazed at how good it was. Like, whoa, there's one dud in that card. One. There's one and there's one dud, but there's like 5 very good, very solid wrestling matches in that show. And the backstage stuff is actually funny. It's weird. They actually were funny that year. And that's the year where we get the 25-minute segment with Hogan, Rock, and Austin, which is probably the best opening segment for a Mania ever. In the Silver Dome. But we covered WrestleMania 21. And I looked at both of my co-hosts, and I said, guys, I'm just going to say this right now. Blank match is the greatest match of all time. I'll tell you off camera.
Okay.
But we've technically reviewed it. We just did it for WrestleMania and didn't give it a ranking. We just talked about it.
Gotcha.
But I told both of them, and we are going to cover it on the main show.
Okay. Very cool.
It's weird because we've got 20. We're going into season 5, so we do 20 episodes per season. And I know that we've got, I think, 5 or 6 that we've already selected we're going to do for sure. Like we know we're going to do these 5. So the other 15, we're kind of like, we usually ask for fan suggestions, listener suggestions. People will email us like, people will give us email suggestions. They'll give us match stuff.
There's a poll also, right?
We do polls. Yeah, we'll do polls on Facebook, on Twitter. I'm trying to figure out how to do that on Instagram. I know it's possible, and I want to because we have an Instagram that I forget we have. We have a YouTube account that I forget we have. So I'm like, we need to start doing stuff on like, let's do YouTube polls. Let's do I want polls everywhere. I'll do surveys everywhere. Mm-hmm. So yeah, well, there'll be like either listener suggestions or like polls, and if we get, let's say we get, well, God, we've probably gotten 200 listener suggestions. What we basically do is we put that into like we call the match box. And so when we do a poll, it's like, oh, here's things that we've been recommended. And if it loses a poll, we just put it back in. Like we don't like, okay, this one lost, we're never going to cover it. We had one match that came in second place 4 times in a row. So we're going to cover this match, damn it. It ended up being one of our favorites that we've done. Yeah. It was Bull Nakano and Aja Kong versus Shinobu Kandori and Akira Hokuto, and it was fucking amazing. Pardon my French. It was good. I was amazed, and I love Joshi wrestling, but I was like, this is good. And there's a Lunger Blaze cameo. I met her. She was amazing. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's, I think my favorite match was that first women's elimination chamber.
Oh,
the first one.
Okay.
Was insane. They tried to murder each other. It was
yeah, that was the year that we got the quote, the safe cage. And I was like, the cage is safe. I'm like, they can do a lot more now, guys.
Yeah.
They're no longer landing on like little like grill girdles now. They have like an actual platform to land on. There's no longer chains above the. Like, they can actually do a lot more in the structure now, and it's safer. Mm. And I'm like, I love it because it's safer and they can have more fun, non-dangerous matches. Well, because they could.
They were going for it. It was one of those things where it was like, hey, we're making history.
Let's
make history.
Speaking of making history, we just covered Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks. And I remember thinking like, okay, it's an important match. Then I rewatched it. I'm like, no, this is actually really good. And it was like one of those, you watch it and then you don't look at it for a period of time and you rewatch it critically, and you're like, no, this is really good. And if people don't agree with that, well, you know what? You can go make your own wrestling podcast. It's actually very easy. You just need 2 to 3 people and some microphones. That's all you need. Just go do it.
Oh, it's not as easy as they make it believe.
I mean, it takes a lot of effort. I know, but
leading into this. Last match saying he's a great. Go.
Please, we love listeners.
But so yeah, wrestling is a big part of like what our conversations have mostly been about. But something that I didn't realize you were into until recently was Gundam.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I have a long relationship with Gundam. I discovered Gundam in the year 1998 when they put it on Toonami. Everyone always talks about Gundam Wing. Yes, that was on there, but they put the original series from 1979. The art has not held up, but the show is very good. I remember watching that and going, wow, this is really good. And as the years went on, this is going to be such a weird story because it's going to take some interesting turns. So I love the Dynasty Warriors franchise. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
They're the same game. They've made the same game for 25 years. I don't care. It's fun. They released a Gundam version. And I'm like, oh my God, I used to love Gundam. So, of course, I buy it. I play it. I love it. And its version of the story mode runs through the original series, Zeta Gundam, Double Zeta Gundam, Char's Counterattack, and it goes into Unicorn.
Right.
And I'm like, oh my God, I didn't know there's that many series because and there's actually like 30 different versions of this, like of the show.
Yeah.
But it picks one timeline and runs through the entire thing. And there's like 8 or 9 different characters you can play as. And then it had an original mode, which had like 25 different characters with different suits. And I'm like, this is just so cool. I love this. So I just started going deep diving. I remember getting the original Gundam. I got Zeta Gundam. I got Char's Counterattack. I got G Gundam, which is just, it's a train wreck, but it's a fun train wreck.
Right.
Gundam Wing, which I have gone back and forth. I used to love it. Now I'm kind of indifferent to it. And somebody asked me why. I said, it's about child soldiers. So I don't know how I feel about that. They tackle that in previous shows, but that one is like, no, these 5 children are going to be the saviors of the galaxy, and we're going to go make them fight this war. And I'm like, that's really fucked up. I don't know if I like that anymore, but I get the point they're trying to make with it.
I think the best iteration of that was the Iron-Blooded Orphans.
Iron-Blooded Orphans is really good. I've seen like roughly half of it. It's on Netflix. It's good.
Yeah.
And that was the glorious return to the Universal Century.
Yes.
And for anyone who's like, how much does this guy like Gundam? My gamer tag is Char. I mean, come on. Up until recently, my Twitch handle was Lieutenant Quattro. I changed it because I didn't want to have to put numbers and letters. I just wanted to have the name Lieutenant Quattro. Couldn't get it. So I remembered that I'm trying to brand myself as a thing. So my new handle is just Lord Paulie Dangerously, because that's kind of been my thing for a while. There's no characters, there's no letters and numbers. It's just my name with a little bit of Michael Keaton at the end. And I am a lord. I was gifted lands and titles from Scotland by my future wife, who I love very, very much. Hi, Jen. I love you. Please watch the show.
Hey, Jen.
Another connection we have, you and I.
Yes. There's a few.
Yes.
But since you're a big fan of Gundam, I don't know if you have this, but I got you something.
What? Oh, no. You shouldn't have.
This is the Target exclusive Gundam.
Oh, my God.
So it's red, white, and blue.
Oh, and it's
an RX-78.
Oh, it's OG Gundam.
It's OG Gundam, but he's got a fresh
coat of paint.
Yeah.
I've actually never built the OG Gundam. So
everybody should start with the RX-78.
Well, I started with the Red Zaku 2, Char. It's weird because if you look at, I have them in the order they're built in. I have a shelf at home that it's got, at this point, let's see. I've got Char's Zaku. I've got Char's Gelgoog. I've got the Goof. That's the blue one with like the shoulder, like the shield with the minigun on it.
Got him too. Yeah, Goof custom right there.
Yeah, I've got that. I have
the Moon one is crazy.
Which
the
one?
Moon Gundam.
Oh, Okay.
MS 123.
I'm not sure where that one's from.
It's huge. I don't know either, but
it looks really cool. I wish you guys could see this. It's so awesome.
It's the biggest 144 figure I've ever seen in my
Oh,
life.
okay. I know you have Iron Blooded Orphans up there. Once again, really good show.
I think that's Barbatos. I have 3 Barbatos.
It's kind of hard to tell because the warning label's covering up. I just see the horns, so it's kind of hard to tell. So I've I built those. I built the Zeta Gundam, and it's the version that can transform, but almost broke it the first time I did it, so I've never tried to transform it ever again.
Yeah.
I built the Sazabi, which is holy shit. Is that a big suit? It's a 1/100 scale.
Oh, nice.
But it is literally like the size of this pillow.
Right.
It's gigantic. And I was wondering, because when I would look, I see like on Amazon, I'm like, why is it $110? It's just like a high grade, like 110. Like, why? And then I bought it, and I'm like, oh, his head alone is like almost the size of like two. If you put 2 fingers together, that's how big his head is. And it's like a 1/100 scale. This thing is it's supposed to be like less than a foot tall, but it's like 2.5 feet tall. It's a giant suit.
I have a 1/100 heavy arms.
Oh, I don't know if it's that scale, but I do have a heavy arms.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the custom. It's the orange. It's the yellow and orange version where he's got like the shoulder mounted Gatling gun, and he's got every single like his shoulder pads, his sash, his wrist, his every part of him opens up for missile pods. I love it. His chest opens up. It's got the 2 like heavy Vulcan cannons on it. So I built heavy arms. I built Death's Eye. I built Shenlong, Wing Zero. I've built Burning Gundam.
I like Zero, by the way.
Zero.
That's a good one.
Zero Custom is one of my favorites, with especially because he has the wings open up and he's got like the double Buster Cannon thing. I love that. And I recently built. I mentioned Burning. Oh, I built the Gundam Mark II, the Titan, the black one.
Mm-hmm.
From beginning of the Titan custom. I've only built half of it. I just never got a chance to finish it. So I think I named them all. If I missed one, I don't think I did. Hayaku Shiki, Char's his gold Gundam. I built that one. That one was a pain in the ass put together.
I got a friend that put that one together. Sent me pictures, and I was like, "Yeah, you can keep it." I'm not putting that guy.
It wasn't. The problem was, is since it's all like that shiny gloss gold, so it's really easy to forget what piece you're holding.
Yeah.
And I made a lot of rookie mistakes. I would knock all the pieces out. It was like, okay, you need this, this, and this. I would knock them all out and then put them together. That was one told me, no, you do them one at a time. If this says you need like E21, you grab E21. You don't grab the other 5 pieces you need to build this part of the arm. Because they all look exactly the fucking same.
I think everybody learns it. Logan, my son, he tried to build one like that.
Oh, no.
He got about halfway through like a torso, and I'm like, hey, how's it going to fit on the legs? He missed all the balls on the inside to connect it together, and I'm like, that's what you get. The
very first time so the Zaku 2 I have on my shelf right now is not the first one I built. The first one I built was like I think it was a 1/144th scale, so it was only about this big. Versus the one I have now is about this big. It's about that size, maybe slightly bigger than that. And now the one I have now is roughly the size of Silver Samurai over here, so roughly that big. I completely forgot to build his like waist belt and his little like mouthpiece.
Yeah.
And those have to go on before the torso is completed and before the head is, because you can't connect the head. Like once you connect the head, you can't strap, because he has like his mouthpiece that goes around that, and you can't take that off to put like I'm gonna call them like the gas, like the air tubes. I think that's what those are supposed to be.
Right.
So because they can get air. You can't put that on unless you take the head off and take the head back apart. And the same with the torso, you can't attach that because the piece it connects to, like you can't undo it because it's connected. So I undo it, put it on. Then I realized, I didn't shave enough of this little stringy wire that they all go in like springs. I didn't shave enough of that off, so to take that off. And then I was doing it over carpet, and then I lost some of the pieces. And then I said, "Fuck it, he's not gonna have the belt. He'll have the gas mask though."
Yeah.
And then it got lost in one of my moves, but I got the 1/110th scale. Oh, 1/100 scale, not 1/10. 1/10 would be the size of this room. Good Lord. No, 1/100 scale. And it's my low key favorite one I've ever built. It's Char. It's more of like a pink than a red, but like it's cool. Even though it is like probably the weakest of all the ones I have built. Like if you put it in a fight with the other like dozen I built, no, it would definitely lose. The most advanced one that I've built is probably Wing Zero Custom is probably the most advanced of all of them. It's definitely the most recent one. But yeah,
one Crossbones looks insane. It's an
Yeah.
RG. It's a real grade, so
Ooh.
that's going to be insane.
Real grades are fun.
Yeah, the frame is crazy. How they make that
Yeah.
plastic so flexible.
Yeah, well, like when the first
with
few I
the
built were
joints
all,
and
I
whatnot.
built some high grades. I've slowly evolved. The very first master grade I built was that Suzapi.
Mhm.
And the only reason why I wanted to build the master grade for that one is because you could only get it in like a high grade. Like, I don't want a high grade. I either want a real or a master. They don't make that one in real grade. So I was like, okay, get master. It's only like $10 more than the high grade. And I looked at the difference online. I'd be like, oh no, there's a big difference. You can completely you can pose him however you want.
Right.
And they came with the stand, but like he's so big that if I try to make him do a fun pose, he's not going to fit in my shelf.
Right.
If I raise his arms up, I can't open up like he's got like his jet pack is the same size as this Gundam. So it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
He's got these giant shoulder pads that open up that have like little boosters on them. It's one of those things. No one's ever going to see that, but it's there. You know, it's there because if he does want to engage, you open the flaps up and then he's got the rockets come out. It's so cool.
Those are fun.
Oh man.
Those
so
are good
excited.
times. I like painting them is probably my favorite part. It's like he's painted.
I'm garbage at painting them.
Oh, it's so easy.
I know.
I didn't realize how easy it was until I started really actually painting them. Then I'm like, okay, this is way easier than I thought it was. At first, my first RX-78, I don't have it up there, but my first RX-78, like the one you got, except not the Target edition.
Yeah.
That's fancy. that's a little bougie. My RX-78 had the yellow. With
I'm digging it.
It's cool, yeah.
I'm gonna build it tomorrow.
It's my first one. I started painting, and I was like, "Oh, people use nail polish. Okay, cool." And so I would just lather nail polish to get all the paint off to make it weathered.
Yeah.
Problem is, I was using too much. I wasn't using a Q-tip. I was dabbing a cotton swab.
Oh no!
Get all this off, and then his whole arm just fell off, and I'm like, "Oh, there you go. I don't know what I'm doing." So,
I didn't think about using nail polish. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I use nail polish or
because I'm looking at him like, yeah, he does look like better than like it would look when you're finished building it.
Right, yeah. So that was my favorite thing to do is the before and afters. I'd build them, take a picture, then I'd paint them for a day, then take a picture. I'm like, yeah.
So I'm trying to think now, like, okay, so I have to ask you now, what's like your dream model to build?
On the Pantheon, a model touch.
Yeah, like ones you haven't done yet that you're like, oh man, I would love to build this one.
There's this one unicorn.
Oh,
that unicorn one is just crazy looking.
Like when like he opens up the psycho frame.
I think so. It's the one I looked at. Well, actually, I saw one that was like a Senator.
Really?
Yeah. I'll have to show you the picture. I don't remember the name of it, and it wasn't that expensive, but it was just like I will get so lost building that.
What blows my mind about Unicorn is it's only like 7 episodes, but they're all like an hour and 10 minutes long. So it's like you're watching 7 movies. That's why it's like it's so short, but because it's 7 movies, it's like watching Sherlock. It's like that. But I only know a little. I only know like what little they put into the Dynasty Warriors game, which was only like 30% of it. So I only know like Unicorn, and then I know the Char clone, who's an actual clone and not just like a ripoff like every other series did. He pilots a suit. It's called, I forget what it's called. It's really, really trippy. Once again, it's gigantic, and it looks like oh wow, that looks amazing. Oh, I don't know if that's gonna work. We have to post that later. The glare. You can kind of say, yeah. That might be like a
some random horse Gundam.
Yeah, like whenever you like release it, just put it in the show notes. Here's what we're gawking at is this awesome centaur. Oh, that's so cool.
Not complicated. Just there's with the bow. Look at that.
That's awesome.
Insane.
Okay, I gotta find this one.
So, nerding out.
Oh yeah. Well,
since we're nerding out, we'll move on from Gundam because I know 5 people are still listening. And thank you, all 5 people.
Yes, we love you.
We're Marvel's rocking and rolling, so I have to ask, who's your top 5? It can be Marvel or DC.
Okay.
Top 5 superheroes and or supervillains.
Okay.
So you got to bundle them all together. And give me 5.
Top 5 of
basically build your Avengers with 5 characters
from Marvel or DC.
Yep.
Okay. This is gonna be a really weird team. So we're gonna have Magneto. He's gonna be the leader. Okay. Specifically like 90s animated series Magneto.
Oh, perfect.
And if you want to go live action, we're bringing in Michael Fassbender. Say what you will about the beautiful Fox movies. He was so good. Yes. Platinum hair. Let it go a little bit past the ears if he wants to. Like grow it out and dye it. You are Magneto. Yeah. I need this. Like the Fox X movies did kind of fall off a cliff, but he was consistently good.
Agreed.
So I need him. So stupid. We gotta have Spider-Man. Okay. Spider-Man is like my favorite superhero from the time I was a child, which is funny because everyone's like, I thought you loved Batman. I do love Batman, but Batman was always a little too dark. I wasn't allowed to read those comic books as a kid, but I was allowed to read Spider-Man because Spider-Man was like, it's bright and friendly and colorful. The only Batman comics I was allowed to read when I was a kid were, do you remember the animated series had their own version of the comics? Oh, yeah. I was allowed to read those because those were like, you can watch this cartoon that's made for kids. So you can read these comic books that are made for kids, not the dark ones that have Frank Miller's name on. You can't read those. You're too young. Yeah. Like wait till you're an adult, then you can read that. So I'd have Batman. Mm-hmm. I got 2 more, and there's so many characters to choose from. Oh, this is so difficult. I'm like 2 Marvel, 1 DC. I feel like I should throw 1 more DC. I need to. I have a villain. Mm-hmm. So I have, like, in my opinion, one of the best villains of all time. As much as I want to throw in like a main MCU character,
you don't have to.
I mean, it's like I feel like I have to. If I would, I probably would throw in Chris Evans' Captain America.
Oh, that's a good one.
First Avenger, I was like, okay, I get it. And then the actual Avengers movie, like, okay. By the time I get to Winter Soldier, I'm like, okay, I like this character now. Because now he's had enough time to like have character development. I know it feels weird to say that, but he doesn't really develop as a character in the first Avenger or in the first Avengers. He's the Boy Scout.
Pantheon.
Yeah,
Marvel
but
for him
once you get to Winter Soldier, and now like particularly the scene where he goes to visit Peggy and she's got like Alzheimer's, and then they're having a conversation, and then she like loses it and then starts like having a breakdown, and he's like, "Hey, I'm here. You're still my best girl." I'm like, "Oh no, stop torturing me, movie." And then it's like Scarlet Johansson's trying to get him a date the whole time, and he's like, I don't want somebody to date me just because I'm Captain America. It's like, well, you're never going to meet anybody. Like everybody in the whole world knows who you are. It's like, I don't want to be like this symbol of freedom. I just want to do the right thing. And like, I really like that. And once you get into Civil War, where he's actually the villain of that movie, everyone's no, Captain America is the villain of Civil War. Go rewatch it. Baron Zemo like does some really nasty shit, but I understand why. And then he's like, I need to die because of the bad things that I've done. I'm getting off track because I don't want to pick the last one because it's really hard. Okay, final.
We're gonna pivot.
Okay, final hero. No, or villain. Bane.
Ooh, the
Bane.
muscle.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I want like Justice League Doom Bane, who
Gotcha.
might be the best interpretation we've seen in either, say, movies. We've only gotten one decent Bane in the movies. One was pretty bad. The other one was okay. But
I, for the longest time, swore that they were going to cast Batista to be Bane.
They really, really should have. But I think in 2012, he wasn't wrestling anymore. So he was already like shifting into making movies. I feel like Marvel got him.
And he probably said hey to James Gunn, and it was over after that.
Yeah. But it's funny because James Gunn did the Suicide Squad. So I don't know, maybe. I would love to see Big Dave, especially because he's too old. You put him in a mask, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Even
his
if
body's still there.
Even if you do see his face, it doesn't matter. He's got a mask on.
Put a body on him.
Yeah.
If you needed to.
Like, he can act. Like, people say, no, like, have you seen Blade Runner? The man can fucking act.
That's one of my favorite scenes.
Oh. Well, he's like
right in the beginning.
Yeah, you've never seen a miracle. Like, the one tear's going down his face, and I'm like 10 years ago, we were making fun of this guy because he said duct tape on Monday Night Raw, and now he's in Blade Runner. Come on. He's in Dune. Have you seen Dune yet?
I've tried.
He's great in that.
To watch Dune.
Oh, man.
I fell asleep.
It's
all 4 times trying to watch it.
All 4. No, I got through it. I watched it with my future father-in-law. And the whole time he's asking me, well, have you read the books? And I'm like, I've read the first one. Have you seen the David Lynch movie? Yes, I have. And as flawed as it is, I love it for being a flawed disaster.
See, I've seen that one.
Oh,
I just could not get through this new one. It's beautiful.
Oh yeah,
all the scenes are beautiful.
Oh
it's
yeah.
Like if someone asked me, it's like, "Hey, what is Dune about?" I'm like, well,
sandworms.
I was like, "Have you seen Star Wars?"
Yes.
It's that without
everything
space. You like about Star Wars.
It's that
They're
with
just on Tatooine.
Yes,
looking around,
looking for water,
and this guy is very confused the entire time.
Yes, and his eyes turn blue, like gold glowing blue. There's a giant worm. Batista's in it. It's awesome.
Everybody's in it. It's
yeah.
Batista, they got Moon Knight. They got
Jason Momoa's in it.
Yeah, they got Aquaman.
Yeah, he shaved. He looks weird, clean shaven.
He looks weird.
I didn't recognize him. I'm like, that's Jason Momoa.
They got Momoa, Oscar Isaac.
Yeah, Oscar Isaac's in it.
Who's playing the
Josh Brolin is in it.
Brolin's in it.
Yes. Zendaya is in it.
MJ.
Yeah, we got her in there.
MJ, Thanos, Moon Knight.
Yeah. Aquaman. Drax. Oh, the list goes. There's more people in it that I'm like forgetting that are in this movie.
For sure.
Which is really funny because at the Oscars, Jason Momoa stood next to Josh Brolin, and he's like a foot taller.
Oh, yeah.
And Josh Brolin's not a small guy. He's like 5'11".
Yeah,
Jason
he's a
Momoa's
big human.
And I'm like, man, Hawaiian's got it going, right? Like, I'm looking at him going like, put him next to Hemsworth. I wonder who's taller. Because Aquaman and Thor are like the same character. Put those two in the same room together. Oh God, he can be Bane, damn it, as big as he is. But so can Big Dave, because Big Dave is like literally the same height. It's like 6'6".
He got more shoulders though.
His physique is very like original. Like I can't remember who. I don't know artists and writers. I was about to like throw out like, yeah, it's like whenever Jim Lee was drawing Bane. Like, I don't know if Jim Lee ever.
I don't know if he did either, but
he did.
You get the reference.
Yeah, like I'm talking like classic when Steve Ditko drew Bane. That's the way he looked, right? Yeah. I think we've lost the last 5 on that one.
Down to 3 people watching.
Yeah, all
Thanks,
right.
Mom.
Yeah, but all the Steve Ditko fans out there when he did his arc on Batman, the best Batman arc of all time.
Accurate.
Oh, broke myself on that one. Oh gosh.
I haven't even thought about my Avengers team.
Oh, that'd be a weird team.
Your team, there's gonna be some internal combustion going on there. If Magneto's the leader and Batman's following him,
yeah, but like
I wonder if he's gonna. How long is he gonna follow Magneto?
I think if they sit down and have a philosophical discussion, he'll be like, "I agree. You're right." I feel like he would side with
Something's off about you.
He would side with him because he's like, "You're not crazy, and you're willing to do like."
Checks out.
Yeah, like maybe he wouldn't be okay with him killing people, but if he could convince Magneto to not kill anyone, they're best friends because they have very similar ideologies. Just Magneto's always been too extreme.
Mm-hmm.
Like tone
But
down
he's
the
honest.
extreme. He is though. He's never once been like, I'm the savior of. Like, no, he's like, I'm going to exterminate. It's like, he's always.
You people have no future.
No.
I am the future.
Yes, exactly.
We are the future, Charles.
Not them. Yes.
We can do this all day.
I know, right?
Wait,
no, you said it wrong. I can do this all day.
Oh,
You gotta say it like that.
I know. When he sees himself.
Oh, I was like,
I know. Yeah, I know.
Bucky is alive.
Yeah. I know. What?
That is the best scene in Endgame. Everyone's like, no, when he picks the thing. No, when he fights himself, damn it.
The best scene in Endgame, and I don't care what you guys think, this is the best scene in Endgame. When they're in the boiler room and they're all talking about like, okay, here's the game plan. This is what we need to do. Thor, what are your thoughts? Not so much when he was still sitting there and they thought he was dead, but when he gets up and he only puts eye drops in one eye, best scene in the whole show. Because the other eye's fake.
I was literally about to put my sunglasses on and just sit back and just. I think he's dead.
Like, no.
Do you know what's coursing through my veins? Cheese whiz. Lightning.
Like, you can sit down. It's like, I'm gonna have a drink.
Oh
like,
no! When he's
have a Bloody Mary.
When he's telling his story about like yes, and then the ether, and then Jane, who she left me, and then that's the day that my mother died, and then my brother who's also so died, and everyone's like I'm okay. It's like please sit down.
Like, I think I'll have a drink.
I'll have a Bloody Mary.
I'm going to have a Bloody Mary.
Yeah, I love how they, for as funny as like the reveal of Thor became an alcoholic and got fat was, the scenes where he's having like imposter syndrome, having panic attacks are my favorite character moments because like who can't relate to that?
Yeah.
Like he's literally like, all you have to do is go there, but there's my mother who I like literally held as she died, and I never got to like say goodbye to her. And now I get this moment where my mom's like, look, I was raised by witches. I know what's gonna happen.
I know who you are.
Yes, I know who you are. I know what's gonna happen to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then she literally gives him the "That's what heroes do" speech. How would she know that? And then that's when he grabs the hammer and he's like, I'm still worthy. And I'm like, yes, you are. And that's why movies are like so special and important right there.
I agree.
I've got
100%.
goosebumps.
Dude, that's a great scene.
It really is. I love that scene because I'll be honest, 2019 was not the best year for this guy right here. Toward the latter half was very good, but like that first like 6 months were pretty rough. So seeing that was like, yeah, because I got dumped like literally the day that the movie came out. Me and my best friend, who's still like one of my best friends. I have like 4 best friends.
Mm-hmm.
So my best friend Mike, about a week before, he's like, "Dude, do you want to go see Endgame?" I said, "Hell yeah!" So he bought 2 tickets. He got 2 tickets opening day at like I don't know 11:30. It's 11:30 on a Friday. It was worth it, but it was rough. Thankfully, assigned seating, but still, it was one of those. That was in like literally 6 o'clock that morning. I wake up a text message saying we're done. Ugh. So seeing that seems like, yes, I am worthy. And then I didn't date for like a whole 6 months. But that's not important.
Look, it's everybody can relate to that, dude.
I met my fiance that year, so good year.
There you go, dude.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to.
Exactly.
Everything happens the way it's supposed to.
Yes.
Except for movies we don't like.
Yes.
But with that being said, my Avengers team would be Moon Knight.
Okay.
Course.
Hell yeah.
Of course. He's my Tony Stark. I'd have Moon Knight, Wolverine.
Oh, okay.
I gotta have some sort of well, no, I got him. I got my brawler. I got my Iron Man. Got my range attacks and my money.
Hell yeah, here you go.
I need I gotta have some muscle. Who am I gonna add? And it can be DC or Solomon Grundy.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Solomon Grundy.
A literal tank that cannot die.
I got my tank. I got my brawler. I got my mage.
Yeah, there we go.
Let me.
You need somebody that can fly.
Yeah, I know.
So this is why I start with Magneto, because he can fill out so many different roles.
Yeah,
he can't
does a lot.
fly, but he can like hover and levitate. So you.
Yeah, but I feel like I got Moon Knight. He's got the moon copter.
He does, yes.
Frenchie flies around in the moon copter, and he can come pick up everybody.
Oh, you're bringing back so many
Frenchie
memories.
in the comics is one of the first gay characters.
I did not know that. Huh.
Mm-hmm. He was gay. Nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's cool that it was there.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like a...
That's his only character trait.
that was it. I fly for him because we did the war stuff together, and I'm gay.
Yeah.
So, like, wasn't complicated, but it's like kind of like having Alfred come out to Batman. Like,
yeah.
Oh, by the way, this is why I've been
by the way,
myself
Master
all my life.
Yeah, exactly.
You haven't heard of me doing anything. This is why. I spend all night out Splash.
I'm here for it.
Yeah. I would read that. Who do I got? Moon Knight, Solomon Grundy, Wolverine. I got 5. I need 2 more.
Yeah, I got 2 more.
Oh man. I got a few good ideas, but I think I kind of have a theme going, so I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna add Ghost Rider.
Oh, okay, there we go.
And filling out the team. I'm gonna get a lady in there. I'm gonna get a female, and her name is. I mean, why not Captain Marvel?
There we go. All right, that's a very powerful team.
That's
2 of them are immortal. Well, no, Johnny's not immortal, but the ghost, like the actual spirit, is.
Right.
So
I mean,
even
Moon Knight's a zombie.
Yeah,
he's Khonshu brought him back to life, so he's just like this little vessel.
The only person in your team that's at risk of dying.
That's crazy.
Well, my team is immortal.
Yeah.
Like one of them is literally invincible.
Let's see. Wolverine heals.
Wolverine heals. Solomon Grundy.
Grundy's-
He can
Solomon
be like
Grundy.
he can be killed, but he's just going to wake back up more powerful than he was before. The only problem would be like getting him to like, come on, Grundy, you got to fight with us, and him just being a berserk monster. But like,
I feel like him and Wolverine kind of hit it off.
they would be like best friends. He's like
They would growl at each other though.
It would literally be like whenever Wolverine and Hulk were a team.
Yeah,
It'd be like that. Only Grundy's less intelligent than Hulk.
correct.
Oh man, that's a good team.
That's pretty solid.
Very,
I like
very
it.
powerful team. I'm pretty sure your team would beat mine.
Well, we're both Avengers.
Yeah, so they'd be
I'm
working
West
together.
Coast, and you're
Yeah,
East
we
Coast.
go. Yeah.
Shout out West Coast Avengers.
Oh man,
Moon Knight was on there, so
hell yeah.
works out. Checks out. But Paul, dude, it's been a blast, dude. We could sit here for hours.
I know.
We're at 43 minutes, and y'all didn't even see the 3 hours before. So we've just been hanging out talking about everything.
Oh yes, that's what I do. That's literally what I do.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of the last match standing belt, that's pretty cool. I was at 225 Wrestling. They had an
I
event.
saw the pictures.
I was holding up the belt.
I saw it, and I'm like, look at that. You're the 5th champ. I was the first.
Gotcha.
And my whole thing at the time was as the youngest last match standing champion because I'm the oldest one on the show. So, but right now, Spencer, he has defended that belt twice. He was the first to successfully defend it.
Nice.
Because I joke, I won it first, and I also lost it first. I'm a 3-time champ. Spencer is a 3-time champ, but he's defended it twice successfully. And I think all 3 of us have won the belt 3 times. So he's the only one that's ever held on to the belt.
Dude, that's a nice belt. I was
Yeah.
like, and who was it at the booth?
That was Hope.
Hope at the booth.
That's Lennon's wife.
Yeah, I walked by and immediately she went into the spill and it was great. She was like, she was going to tell me the whole history about last match standing.
Oh,
I'm
gosh.
like, I know Paul. I'll pause you right there. I know Paul. She's like, oh, okay, good. She was going right into it, and I'm like,
oh yeah. Unfortunately, I was not able to attend that. Jen was working, and somebody had to take care of the animals. But
there's a couple.
Yeah, there's a few things going on. That was also like my only day off. I didn't want to make a 3-hour round trip. I know that makes me sound terrible, and I probably should have admitted that.
3 hours is speedy.
Yeah,
I
know. 4 hours.
4.
Well, to be completely honest, and Spencer Landon, if you guys see this, I'm sorry. This is what happened.
Uh-oh.
I got off work on Friday, and I had to go work. Well, I worked 2 jobs, so I got off my normal job at like noon, and then I went to work my bartending gig that evening. I didn't get home until midnight. Didn't get to bed until probably 1:30, 2 o'clock. Was woken up very, very early by a very, very upset dog who wanted to go out at 6 a.m. So I'm going on no sleep. And Jen's working an election. So she's literally like 6:30 in the morning until like 8:30 p.m. She's gone all day.
Yeah.
Like 14 hours. I'm by myself and I haven't slept. And I'm like, guys, I'm not gonna be able to make it today. I'm really sorry. At the end of the day, I really just wanted to sleep.
It happens. We're actually only human.
I know.
As much as I want to be a superhero.
I know. And one thing I've learned in my early 30s is the limitations. I can't do all-nighters anymore. Can't do it. I need to sleep.
Tough. Bar gigs get rough for me. I just can't really. Well, far away. Like if I got to go to Biloxi and do a bar gig.
Yeah, I feel like I say every weekend. I'm like, I'm in Gulfport. I'm like, that's a 2.5 hour drive there, and you're there at like 7 until like midnight, and you got to drive. Oh, you got to drive back. Mm-hmm. You're getting back at 3 in the morning, dude.
That's if I don't stop and take a nap. Which I'm out of an age where I have to stop and take a nap.
Oh yeah.
And what's crazy is I nap, and then when I wake up, I'm like, where am I? Because I usually like park somewhere because I'm getting groggy, so I don't really see where I get off at. And I go to sleep, and then I wake up, and I'm like, "Oh, is everyone okay?" I wanted to get out of my car and check. It's like, did I get a wreck? Did I hit something?
No, I was just sleeping.
I was just asleep, and it was like half a Twinkie on my shirt. It's like, okay, sugar crash.
Yes,
happened.
Oh, that's real. For me, it was like this past Friday. My day job, I usually work like 7 to like 4. On Fridays, we work 7 to noon. So I have to get up at like 5:30. So wake up at 5:30, work for like 5 hours, take a short break, and then go work for like another 6. Mm-hmm. I was only functioning because I shotgunned a bang, but that wore off at like 8:30. So pretty much from 8:30, the last like hour and a half of that wedding I was working was like, it's like, can I get a gin and tonic? Yeah. Here.
Luckily it's gin and tonic, right?
Yeah. Like, it's like, yes, what can I get for you? What do you guys have? This is like the all right, I've got this. Would you like a vodka and Sprite? Yes. Great. That's what I made here.
just start handing drinks.
Just start handing stuff out. Don't even talk.
Hey, I'll
you don't make eye contact. Like, you just hand it to him. Like, here.
This is champagne.
Like, yeah, it's free. It's a wedding.
Wink at him after.
You gotta do the rocket. You gotta wink with the wrong eye like that. Ah.
Yeah.
Ah, like that. Okay. One quick little thing.
Yeah.
So, do you play D&D?
Dungeons and Dragons?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I made a character in D&D who's a cross between my cat and Rocket Raccoon.
Nice.
He's a Tabaxi monk. For those of you who don't know, Tabaxi are cat people. They're literally bipedal cats that can speak and have culture, and they still have tails.
Mhm.
Basically, a Khajiit if you've played Skyrim. Think that, but less like, are they going to rob me? And more, is he going to be okay because he's a little scatterbrained? So his thing is he winks with the wrong eye.
Oh.
So I like lean in and go, ah. And there's a joke because whenever we're having like an important conversation, I have to like roll to see what my tail is gonna do.
Oh wow.
So I was on the DM. So he told me, yeah, just you can even do like ghost roll. I don't have to see it. You just do it. So we'll be like having like the big battle plan, and I like roll like a 3. I'm scared. So my tail is like stiff and it's like flaring out, and I'm trying to hide it, or I'm really excited, so it's like going all over the place,
Yeah.
or the thing where like I'm like really sad, so it's like curved down and drooping, and like my posture gets really bad. It's so, and his name is Leon because I love Resident Evil 2, so I named him Leon.
Oh nice.
And
Did you watch the new Resident Evil?
Infinite Darkness?
No, Umbrella.
Oh no! Oh god! Welcome to Raccoon City.
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen it, and everybody that I know has told me not to watch it.
I haven't seen it yet, but that trailer, dude.
The
Anytime they do a
trailer's
movie
great.
trailer with music like that,
Yeah.
when the music ties into the trailer. Very
So
cool.
the only real negative I've heard about it is that it has too many characters.
But I mean,
They're basically trying to combine Resident Evil 1 and 2 into one movie, which you can't really
wow.
do.
Yeah.
So you have like Jill, Chris, Barry, and Wesker at the mansion, while you've got like Leon, Claire, and like Chief Irons at the police station.
Just 2 sets.
Yeah, and like Williams there, but Lisa Trevor. Yeah, it's like I haven't seen it, but that's what I've been told. And like the people that I like, when I want to know, like, okay, a new Resident Evil theme, if it's a new game or if it's a movie, I go to Row, that's Resident Evil. I go to like, what do they have to say? They're like, if you're a big fan, you're gonna love it. If you're not a big fan, you're gonna hate it, or you'll love all the Easter eggs and references, but the movie is like, it's just confusing and it's too long or whatever. I'm like, okay, cool. Or I'll like, the Sphere Hunter's pretty cool. She'll like give a really good thing. Or Ink Ribbon, it's Kai Morgan. He's pretty cool. They've got cool. I like to hear. I want to hear their opinions because they love this shit as much as I do. So
Right.
like, what do they have to say? If they love it, I'll give it a shot. And they're kind of like, it was okay. But they all saw it with like their best friends. That's why they enjoyed it.
Right.
I was gonna say, you're talking about Infinite Darkness on Netflix. That show's awesome.
I don't think I've seen that one yet.
It's
it's animated.
Yeah, it's 4 parts. It's the new cast from Remake 2.
Yeah.
So it's I always forget how to pronounce her last name, but it's Stephanie P. I forget. She's got like an Italian last name. It's hard to pronounce. And then Nick Apostolidis, who also is a very difficult to pronounce name. So they were the mocap and voice actors for the remake of 2, and they're coming back, and they're supposed to be making a remake of 4, and they're gonna have him come back and reprise Leon, and he's just really cool. Got a cameo for my birthday from him. It was awesome. Got really emotional. I was really drunk, and I watched it, and got really emotional because it's so cool. And I like literally was saying to people like in March. My birthday's in May. In March, around this time, I'm like, my favorite voice actor's on Cameo. And it was just far enough out that I forgot about it until the day of. And they're like, we should all go inside now. And I'm like, but we're having a party outside because, COVID, and it's pizza party. Yeah, make your own pizza. And like, we should go inside now. And they're like, what's on the television? Oh, look, it's my favorite voice actor.
Right.
And they mentioned to him that I named my character after Leon, and he thought that was the coolest thing ever. I'm like, I bet he did, because he's a total nerd and plays D&D as well. It's like him and Matt Mercer, the 2 best Leons ever. I'm a nerd. I know nerd stuff.
Well, Mom, I hope you're still watching.
Yes.
What was I going to say?
I threw you off of that one, didn't I?
I was going to pivot. I saw something. I was like, what were we talking about?
We were talking about D&D.
Not
Well, we mentioned Rocket because we mentioned the Wink, and then I went on my D&D story,
Rocket D&D story,
and we talked about Resident Evil.
Resident Evil. Then we talked about mocap. Then 4.
This is what happens when you
Favorite
have me on a
voice
show.
actor.
I just go off on tangents, and everyone gets confused.
No, it's fine, dude. That's half. Have you seen the show?
Yes.
Half of these fucking episodes.
Oh, when you ask me, do you want to be like, you're goddamn right, I want to be on. I think it's what I said back. Like I have, it's like the first time I've like actually been invited on a show and not been like, can I come on your show and promote, or like with Spencer and Landon to promote? Like, no, I am the guest on the show, and I've been invited. I'm like, yes, I've waited my whole life to be on a show.
You found it. This is the one. Look,
yes.
You got.
Oh,
I love you.
Oh God.
That was for you.
Yes.
That,
I feel like
I was going to pivot to.
Yes, here we go.
Did this shirt, Wes Warren?
Yeah,
dude,
that dude's awesome.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't see it until this the Extreme match. So I watched him before, and he's always been great.
Yeah, he's cool.
But then I watched the match he had at Extreme, not where he got the titles. It was the one before. He had an actual match.
Yeah,
and I was like, technically solid. Dude.
Oh, he's really good.
And it was just all over the place, working the crowd. You know.
Oh yeah,
it was fantastic. And I immediately, right after the match, he went out, and immediately when he left, I was like, he needs a title shot.
Yeah,
I want to see him.
He's really good.
Do a title match.
So,
and then the next match though is the ladder match, and he literally got the title. And I'm like, I called it.
Oh, what I love about so when we go to the 225 shows, I remember a few years ago when they first got started, you'd go to them and they were very like, they would play it safe. They would do very like technical matches, but they played it very, very safe. And I'm not that's not me. Like, I'm not taking them down a peg or two. I'm not saying, oh well, the bar's been raised in wrestling. But if you went to them, it was like, if you watched wrestling in like the 80s or the early 90s, even the early 2000s, you'd have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Since they came back like post-COVID, they have been like, I think it's because they had to take a year off. Like, these guys couldn't wrestle for an entire year. They could not work anywhere. I feel like every show I've gone to since like the tail end of 2021 into this year, every match I see they're wrestling like it's their last match. I'm like, I love this. I don't know if it's the best thing for like longevity, but like, screw it. If you only have one big show a month,
dude,
go all out.
It's funny because it was just a random win when I was like, oh, they got the rest, because I've taken Logan to Raw, and we've done shows, we've seen stuff like that, and it's totally different.
Yeah,
it's a totally different experience.
It really is.
And I took him to Raw, and I took him to the first, I don't remember what it was called, but not Super Gold, but the one before Super Gold.
Oh,
I forget what it was called.
It's driving me crazy.
But it,
because we saw you at Super Gold.
Yeah, we saw you. I saw you Super Gold too. Which great matches.
That was a lot of fun,
dude. We I saw people. The Rumble happened so fast though.
Yeah,
and me and Logan are just like, I don't know who that is. Let's see what he's out. He's out.
Yeah. Oh,
it's like, okay.
This is what happened with me. I was familiar with like maybe half of the wrestlers on that show, but there was a handful of guys and gals that were only in that match.
Yeah.
And some of them I'm like, I don't know who these people are.
Yeah. I mean, I was totally, I loved it.
I was into it. I was into it completely.
I'm
like,
many random people as you want.
Yeah. That's why I really laughed. There's the guy. He was like, he's something vicious. He's from like a different group. He was kind of like hey, we'll book you on the show. And like when he came out, I'm like, I was joking, and I feel so bad about this because I'm like, now that's what a pro wrestler is supposed to look like when he came out. And everybody's like, don't be mean. I'm like, dude, walk into a room like, that's a pro wrestler.
Yeah.
Not that people don't look like it. It's just like he walked in. I'm like, okay. Yeah.
I believe it.
And he like, yeah. And that's not to say I don't believe Wes Warren, I do. one thing that he does really well, his facials.
Oh, the entire match.
When he walks through the curtain, like the first time I saw him wrestle, he walked out of the curtain, and like I literally watched him like punching himself like in the eyes, and everyone's like, "What the fuck is he doing?" I'm like, "He's getting ready." Like, what do you mean? Like, look in his eyes now. When he like, because he kind of like doesn't like make he'll like look around, but I saw him like pick like one person, like give him like a glare, and I'm like,
yeah,
I don't want any of that guy.
No, it's fantastic. It's a sell immediately, and it was easy for me because I had Logan with me.
Yeah,
we also had Garrett, who that's my girlfriend's son.
Yeah,
and Garrett's first time ever seen wrestling, and he's just like, "Oh," I'm like, "Okay, so that's a heel."
Yes, this is.
You know what I mean? The minute they walk out, you're like, "This is your heel," and then he picked up immediately. He's like, "Okay, that's the baby face, and that's the heel." Problem is, I have Logan. Logan loves heels. He's cheering for the heels the entire time. He's like, "Yes,
I'll do it."
Lucha,
but like
Lucha Lacora,
I love Lucha Lacora. I'm going to cheer for him.
Yeah.
I did not see the match where apparently he got arrested in. I saw that. I'm like, oh my god, what happened?
I saw the video. I'm guessing it's heat. Yeah, but I think it was definitely planned heat.
Yes.
I mean, you don't have a child just lingering in a ring without the referees.
But
the referees didn't even look at him.
Yeah. So the problem I had when that first happened, it was like, oh my God, what happened? And then I watched the video like, oh, okay. That was planned.
Yeah.
I thought it was a little too much. Because like, yeah, you get heat, but like, how the fuck are you going to come back from that? You assaulted a small child.
It's tough because just being in the crowd at Pro 225.
Yeah.
Half of them totally sold.
Oh, yeah.
On all of it.
I was sold on it.
No, not just that. I mean, just in general. Like,
oh, yeah.
The crowd's like, this is insane. Or it's like, I don't come out because they're going to try and murder you.
Yeah.
They think you tried to kill a kid.
Yeah. Well, like I was going to say back to Super Gold, whenever Gil Gracie came out and that crowd wanted his blood. And I'm like, I mean, yeah, he's done some pretty nasty stuff, but like, man, I'm like, I remember seeing him after the show and I'm like, good show. He's like, oh, thanks, man.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no one ever tells you that, huh? No. I usually get like the finger. I'm like, no, you do.
He is great.
He's a really nice guy.
And it's one of those things where he's like trying to sneak out.
Yeah.
I'm like,
oh, he had to sneak.
Good show.
He had to sneak out. At that show, Gil had to sneak out.
Yeah. Oh man. Just what we're saying is y'all are doing a great job. We love
yes, we love you. Crimson Tiger, I'm looking at you.
Crimson Tiger, he was killing it at the last one.
Oh, we did a live trivia at the Resident Wrestling Con, and at one part, Big Ramp shows up and he said, "Oh, Crimson Tiger has cooties," and I'm like, "What?" Watched it back. He was behind us, waving at the camera for like a good 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Then he walks up and he's like, "Hey guys," and they like snuck off, and I'm like, "You should have walked up." Because we had a few. Big Ramp came up. We put him on a mic and we had fun with him. Jace Fowler came and we put him on a mic. Come on, let's come on, damn it.
Yeah.
Like, man, I was like, we got Bushwhacker Luke on here. Come on, come joke with us.
Logan loves Big Ramp too.
Big Ramp is great. But speaking of like fans that are like sold on it, Super Gold, the lady in front of us, she was so into the show that she was getting so upset that she had to like walk out and she was crying. And I'm like, I used to get that passionate about wrestling and I need that back.
Dude.
Oh.
I mean, this, you don't have to answer this if you don't know it or if you don't want to say it, but is there a real GM for the Pro 225?
Oh, I actually don't know.
Right. I mean,
so
I don't know if it's, well, anyway, go back to like Extreme where we were, and I was trying to find my seats.
Yeah.
And they thought somebody was in my seats. Nobody was in my seats. I just didn't know how to read the ticket. So Like I was like, yeah, I think some over there. I think I'm over here. I don't know. And then some lady's like, well, let me go find the GM. And then like,
Probably been Jordy.
no, they weren't looking for them. They were looking for Michael.
Oh my, yeah. Well,
But
I'll say Mustang Mike and Wild Thing are like the two. Like it's their show, but there is like there's an on-screen GM.
That's what
right
I'm saying.
Now. It's Michael White.
Yeah. She was like, "Let's find Michael White. I'll find your seats for you." And I'm like, I didn't want to burst her bubble. I don't think that's who we're going to for the tickets.
No,
She saw him just passing through, and he's 100% in character. He's just passing through like eating a sandwich or something. She's like, Michael, why don't you come help these people? You're the GM. Just yelling at the guy. The guy's just like, I'm gonna go eat my food, and just rolls out. And she gets so pissed, dude. She's like, piece of you. I can't believe he's a GM.
I think we're talking about the same person.
Oh, could be.
I think we are.
But I mean, it's fantastic, and Logan just he loves the idea of it. But
yeah,
again, I'm like, dude, you can't be cheering for the heels.
No, you can't do it
because you're throwing it off.
It depends on who's wrestling. If Lucha, I'm going to cheer for Lucha. If he's wrestling Corey, though, I can't do that. Corey's my boy. I'm going to cheer for Corey.
They were amazing.
Oh,
that was an amazing match.
Oh man, at Super Gold, Corey and Purple Haze. Holy shit.
That went the distance, huh?
Yeah, and I've seen Corey wrestle for like 3 years. I'm watching that one. I'm like, dude, this is what happens when you go to fucking New Japan Dojo. This is what happens. Every time that picture pops up, him and Kenta and the fucking New Japan Dojo. I'm like, dude, oh, like you are so close to becoming like the next big fucking thing.
Right.
Oh, you don't even know. Oh, the dude like literally went to Austin. Now he's going to Dustin Rhodes School.
Oh wow!
And I'm like, yes, that's where you need to be. I guarantee. I remember him talking about it. I'm like, dude, yes, go. Now it's like 2 years ago. He's like, oh, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, no, you need to. That'd be the best thing for you right now. And like just seeing him wrestle since then, I'm like, yeah, he's really coming to his own. And not that he like hadn't before, like, but like watching him, like him in like 2019 and him in 2022, like, yeah, he is there because he got the character right there. Now, like the whole thing, like in ring, what he's doing, he is just going for it, and I love watching it. And he's a cool dude.
Stuff. Yeah,
he's a really cool dude.
Yeah, really cool. That I keep going back to that match that they just had.
Oh, the cage match?
Cage match. Insane, dude.
Oh.
I have to show you some pictures of some stuff I got because it's like off the top rope type stuff.
Oh.
Off the cage top rope stuff.
Freaking like superplex over the top of the cage. I saw that. I'm like, yep.
Yeah, they got nuts. Then after the match, like after Corey won and Corey's walking out, Lucha, I couldn't hear what he was saying, but it was 100% sold.
Yeah,
he's wearing a mask and selling it. Like I'm like, I don't know what's going on under the mask, but I'm intrigued. I'm interested. Well, he's like on all fours, almost just yelling at Corey as he's leaving.
Yeah,
and it was just like he wanted more pain, and it was like,
oh, I've seen him wear a mask where like the mouth is cut out.
Mm-hmm.
At the wrestling con, the mouth was out. He could talk, but he was wearing basically a Daredevil inspired suit.
Yeah,
so you could see his mouth.
Gotcha.
And listen to him talk with you can see his mouth and like basically watching him laugh and smile so much. Like, you're a nice guy under there. That's why you wear a mask. I wore a mask when I wrestled because like, hi, I'm the big mean bad guy. Like put a mask on. Like, oh, the big mean bad guy like takes the mask off. Hi guys.
Dude, it was great. Oh my god!
Oh man!
What time is it? Like 2 a.m?
Yeah, I think so. I have to be at work in 3 hours.
Oh, geez, dude. We're gonna cut it, guys. Thanks for sticking around with us. Be sure to like and subscribe. Go watch Last Match Standing. You can find it where all podcasts are available.
Yep.
Like, subscribe here at the Jeff Vance Show, and you can watch all these crazy episodes.
Yes.
All my rowdy friends and all their goings ons and whatnot. But be on the lookout. We'll do some other stuff again. And who knows where this is going to go.
Oh, yeah.
So, love you guys. Bye. I don't think I'm going to turn it off. I don't know.